the University Club. Uh, Kurt Reinhardt was at Travelers Towers. I mean, these are all executive dining rooms in Hartford at the time.
Yeah.
In the 70s.
Yeah.
That was, Hartford was New York.
Poppin', yeah.
The things that you wanted to do is, I created a situation. If I wanted, on our seasonal menus, I would say I want a veal dish. I want to use medallions, or I want to use entrecotes, I want to use this, and I want each one of you using these items to come up with a dish. So we're going to need 20 new dishes for entrees.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what we have to do. We want a veal course, want this, want that, want that. Like if I had a rack of lamb, we bring in the whole racks and then saddles.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had a saddle of lamb or rack of lamb, we break it down ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nobody's breaking it down for you.
That's what you learn on things like that, mozats or whatever. Everyone had a hand in making the menu for each dining room.
Mm-hmm.
Then we might like that starch, and everyone would select, might like that starch, we might like that vegetable to go with this entree, or this veal.
Yeah.
Then we would put that together, take a shot, and that's what each dish would look like that we put out. And then you have daily specials for lunch, because you get these same people out, they were all lawyers, attorneys, congressmen, that type of things. So you're captive all the time.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So that's how we work.
Did you find yourself having a relationship with your guests? Sort of they knew you were, hey, that's the chef?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They would know if I was there or if I wasn't there.
I hate that feeling.
Yeah.
That's not a good feeling.
Chef, I drove back. I was a chef here. And there we go. Oh boy, Mr. McCarthy's here, and he's got this one. He wants to show off the chef, or whatever. And I'd be just getting home from Hartford to Bristol, Forestville. I'd be getting a phone call. Mr. McCarthy's coming in for dinner, and he wants to know if you're going to be there, chef. And he's got a guest he wants you to introduce you. Clean up, change, go back in the car, drive all the way back to Hartford. Right? I'm exhausted. I was there 6:30 this morning. Sound familiar?
No.
Yeah. Put myself on a split shift because I used to come home because to pick up the kids, and so they went so they could take a nap in the afternoon or whatever, And I get back and drive all the way back. But they would know. And I remember this one time, George Ewing, God rest his soul, he loved lamb chops. He loved them medium rare.
Okay.
And I come back in and one of the waiters come up to me and said, "Chef, George's not happy with these lamb chops." Oh my God. I go, "What's the matter with them?" And they were exactly how he wanted them, but he didn't see my face
making them.
So I peeked out the dining room. I went like that, waved at him, gave me one of those everything's great, and sent the darn things back out to him. I said to the night, he goes, "Boy, those were the best darn lamb chops I ever had." I touch them.
Sentimentality.
Yeah, it is.
Of the people, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But they wanted, and the thing is, Jeff, is that they were paying me for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I understood. I learned that. They were paying me to be there for them. What sacrifices is that they're not paying me to be home.
Yeah.
You catch that ninth inning baseball part of the game, or
Yeah.
the gymnastics that you missed a little bit of, and things like that. So that was the hard part.
Mm-hmm.
Making people happy, we could do that.
You can do that all day, yeah.
Yeah, just have to be there 16 hours a day,
Exactly.
right? And you know that.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you before we started. It's like, you know, at a certain point, you only care about the restaurant.
Yeah.
You really only care about the restaurant and its guests, and you
Yeah.
stop caring about yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you start pushing your family away. You don't go see them. They stop inviting you to things because they know you're not going to show up. You know, and
Yeah.
I'll bring this up now. It's very hard for me to talk about, but you know, he was in my class, Christopher Ferry. You know,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
you know, he had a very unfortunate passing, and
Very.
I remember I was in, you know, it was summertime. It was like junior year of my college, and you know, my friends asking me, "Hey, are you coming?" And I straight up, I was like, "No, I have to work." You know, and all these years later, I still regret it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that missing that one day, I think I would have still been sitting here talking to you. You know, it wouldn't have changed anything.
Yeah.
But it would have changed the fact that I wouldn't have regretted it, and I would have seen him for one last time,
Yeah.
and really gotten that goodbye.
What a great kid.
But, yeah, it was an awesome kid, and he, you know, he showed me like how to be cool, you know, and I wanted so much to emulate him because he just had confidence.
He did.
You know, and I didn't have any of that, you know, and I thought it was so cool that he liked me and that I was his friend, and you know, and he really did care, you know, because I went to school that first year and he would call me and we'd talk on the phone, and you know, and I came back the first summer from being at school, and he was like, "Hey, when are you gonna come visit me?"
Mm-hmm.
You know, and my goal for him was always like, "Hey, why don't you come to school with me?"
Yeah.
You know, because he was, you know, sort of in Connecticut, not doing anything. And, you know, so shout out to Chris and his family because I love him.
Yeah.
And it actually, I use that regret to fuel me to, well, I'm going to make it worth it now that I missed that funeral. You know, if I have to spend my whole life working hard to make sure that he knows that I really did love him and care about him,
Yeah.
and that I am sorry that I didn't show up that day, you know.
I know that.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, you're in this university club, and you know, you're sort of, let's say we're 7 years in. Did you kind of at that point feel like you needed to go?
It was, you know, it was a tough thing. First I loved my job, so there's no question. There was no question about it.
Yeah.
It was coming to the point that it was spending too much time, but getting compensated for it. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Got compensated for it, but I mean, I'd be at home. To interject this, I'd be at home. I'd have a three-way conversation. One would be with the general manager. Another one would be from somebody from Japan,
Mm-hmm.
trying to set up something that we have 16 dignitaries coming in that are going to be consulting with Sikorsky Aircraft, and we need to wine them and dine them
Mm-hmm.
for a week. So it was not only at work, but it was at home.
Followed you home, yeah.
And then a good friend of mine, and you know, I was very involved with all these other organizations that I belong to,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd have a 4-day bag and a 6-day bag. That's on top of
What you were doing.
what I was
Yeah.
doing. One of the things that I need to spend more time at home. So I'm thinking of other things, and a good friend of mine later on says I was coaching some students also in a high school in Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "You'd be a good teacher." be a good teacher. I'm a chef. And an opportunity came, and I had left. Eventually, I had left the university club. On good terms, but they didn't want me to go.
Mm-hmm.
And they kept the job open for 6 months. They put my sous chef in there, pro temp, and they wanted me to come back. And I ended up taking a part-time gig in between, being coached into going back to school and teaching. And I did. I left a job that I was making a lot of money, and what I don't even want to tell you what I lost, but it all paid off because I got to be with my kids. I got to be with my family. So to make up for that, I started was a teacher part-time, left a full-time job. They only had an opening part-time, 27 hours a week.
Oh, where are we talking? What school?
That was Eli Whitney in Hamden.
Okay.
One of my best friends, Summer Diana, was the department head there.
Mm-hmm.
He was opening up a position for me to become a teacher. I went to college. I had 10 years to get my degree.
Mm-hmm.
I got it in 3. I worked part-time to make up for that, where I probably was working 40 hours part-time. So I was working, teaching, going to college, and working part-time 40 hours a week.
Mm-hmm. Whoa.
To spend more time. And I did that for pretty much until I got to, I was there 10 years at Eli Whitney, 14 years at Emmett O'Brien, and 6 years at Wilcox.
Okay. So Eli Whitney, were you part-time the entire time?
I was there 1 year part-time.
1 year part-time?
Yeah.
What did you find, you're being a teacher for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
What were the challenges there?
The challenges of first-time teacher?
From being a chef, because you probably thought to yourself, well, I can cook, why I should be able to teach it. I'm teaching my chefs every day. There's no, Or did you come at it like, this is going to be a challenge, I've never done this before,
Scared as hell. No, I could handle the golf club. I can handle the 5 dining rooms.
You're like children. I don't know.
The different personalities. I don't. Having students getting used to you.
Oh yeah.
And you getting used to them, and then trying to integrate that you have to wear a chef's hat.
Yeah.
You have to have a white, clean coat every day.
Yeah, it needs to be ironed.
You have to have safety shoes.
Shiny shoes.
You have to go to theory class every day.
Oh, yeah.
This was all new to this first group of kids I had. And we became the best friends after a year.
Okay.
And they were just a great group, great experience. And a lot of the kids, and one of the neat things was that a lot of the guys played guitars.
Oh, okay.
A lot of the other, so the interest was there. So I took them on a walk into the auditorium, and there happened to be a drum set there.
Yeah.
So we did a little rocking and rolling.
Did a little bit.
And all of a sudden, we got a lot more kids into the auditorium
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. So